Alright, hello and welcome back to Let's Play yet another no-name MAME game. Today's no-name MAME game is, of course, Zunzunkyou no Yabou. Or a couple syllables, plus or minus. And let's jump right in. So I'm not entirely sure what the plot is, but evidently you have to shoot these girls. Now, if shooting things is not entirely... Well, okay, if you're... Alright, anyway, so we've got a giant crowd, and if we press the second button, it's a bomb! And that didn't really make anything better. Now, you're still shooting people, but if it's any consolation, I think there are those guys on the sides that are guys that you can shoot them too. And, well, at least they kill you. So even though it doesn't really look like it, it seems like it'd be some sort of arena-based game. No, it's actually a surprise shoot 'em up. Shoot 'em up in platformers' clothing? Disco Queen. Nice little touch. Oh gosh. So I'm not entirely sure who you're playing as. I'd like to imagine you're some sort of demon who hates fun, so you have to go out and destroy everything that sounds fun. Sounds fun. Yeah, look at those people. They're like having a nice happy festival, celebrating you. Pfft, forget that stuff. We're shooting them all. My god, that's really awesome that they give you a bomb, though, that's like so absurdly effective. That's also really surreal that it's like, it's sort of playing like Galaxian, so it's sort of like Galaxian by any other viewpoint. And now we've got our good old friend Autofire on, which managed to freeze the game. This is not too technically impressive if Autofire manages to freeze the game. I'm sure we have limited bombs, so let's not squander them all. Right, they're doing a pretty good job of having shots that follow you. It seems like the shots probably cheat a little. And of course, the level isn't over when you've finished everyone. You still have to finish some more people off. And there we go, now we can go rain on someone else's parade. Although I will say this about the graphics. The graphics are actually amazing. Like, a little beyond amazing. And they're like nice, bright, varied. And then they show you like everything you need to see. I mean, they're very clear. It's like the perfect graphics. Actually, the graphic style is a little reminiscent of Poyopon. Oh yeah, Pocky and Rocky with Becky. You could get that from what I said, right? But that was a neat little series, exclusively on the Super Nintendo. I think it wasn't even in arcade, but it sure looked and felt and played like an arcade game. Of course, those games were also hard enough to be arcade games. I've only played the first one, but man, that stuff's pretty hard. And it's also one of those things where, like, you get a couple of you get like a life bar, but you get a life bar and you get a couple extra lives, but you can't continue mid-stage. Like, you have to put in, like, you have to go over to the beginning and try again. So that makes it, like, very hard to beat. So I haven't beaten that one, and I haven't even started thinking about playing the second one. Although I hear there is a Game Boy Advance adaptation, and I briefly played that, and I was very immediately... Why did my character transform? Exactly. But yeah, I played that and was immediately disappointed, turned it off, did not want to visit it at all again. So I'm not really sure what we're doing here, though, because, I mean, it looked like we're, like, attacking people getting off of a subway train, but last time I checked, there weren't parties on subway trains. Subway trains aren't exactly a party hotspot. No nightlife on the subway trains. And look at this guy. Is he even having fun? I mean, he's wearing clothes like that puffy and that loud. Oh, it's a boss. Oh yeah, that's right, the do-do-do-do, and just like the little beeps and bloops of the game, they're actually kind of terrible. I mean, this game has music, but you can't hear it over all of the beeps and bloops, or at least you could, maybe, but then the sound balance would be all off. If you ever make a game, just be sure to make the sound balance acceptable, like actually be able to hear the music. I mean, if you're going to put all the time and effort into actually composing music for your game, you might as well let people hear it. I don't know, it's just a bad habit to have sound effects that are super loud, that just kind of... You can't hear anything else but the sound effects. As far as a shoot 'em up, well, there's kind of a reason you don't do things like this, because it's a little awkward to, like, judge how much space you have for the guy to dodge. That being said, the novelty factor, I feel like that kind of makes up for it, but, it is a bit of a problem. But, yeah, I mean, they're clearly going for a shoot-'em-up. Oh, nice. So we're, like, taking down the humans and replacing them with demons? Whatever, more things to shoot. Let's shoot them. Are those monkeys? This game gets better and better. Wow. And then, yeah, there's a lot of graphical differences between, like, this stage, the previous few stages. It's actually really, really impressive just how much, like, work had to go into, like, spriting all of the things you see. And then you've got, like, a giant crazy background that the entire thing's going on over, and that's a lot of work. And then I'm pretty sure the music's good, too. I can't imagine to be anywhere near as, like, super amazing impressive as this, but if it is, then good job. Oh, gosh. It's not exactly well balanced as a shoot-'em-up, because, I mean, as a shoot-'em-up, you kind of don't want... You want to overwhelm the player character, but you don't want to overwhelm them too much. You don't want to give them, like, a harder shot pattern than they can handle, given the controls and characteristics and stuff. But, this game, it's just kind of all about overwhelming you with, like, just a bunch of numbers. Although it is kind of cool, like, all of the enemies, basically, except for the big bosses at the end, are popcorn enemies. So, like, they go down in 1-2 hits, maybe? So, I really appreciate that design aspect, because then you can just, like, mow through everything, and you're, like, all-powerful god. In fact, you might actually be a god. So it's not even kidding. It's literally a fact. It's literally a potentially true fact. It's a fact that has the potential to be literally true. And just like all pandas inevitably do, they betray us with swords. Oh wow, look at our score. It's actually pretty low, especially given that it's a shoot-'em-up game. Now will our enemies be women or men? Way to leave it ambiguous, game. Oh, one hit and they turns them into skeletons, and then you have to hit them with another. Oh, wow. I thought that was like a bit of obstacle, but no, it's just something that's there. That's always a weird thing about, like, things in the, fantastic sprite work in the background. Like, sometimes it becomes a little nebulous as to, like, what's a background, what's a foreground. And I mean, sure, you as the programmer definitely know, but you as the game player may not know, necessarily. Dang. I do kind of wish everybody was one hit, because the 2 hits, that's maybe a little ridiculous, because then you have to, like, legitimately be hitting them in order for it to take them out, which, yeah, okay. I can admit, I can't fault the game for wanting you to be a little bit legit in how you play it, but then it means you can't just kind of, like, walk around and do whatever you want. You have to shoot them. Or, well, it feels like sometimes that it takes 2 hits, and sometimes it only takes 1. It could be that there are 2 different kinds of enemies floating around, but they look more or less identical, so... Oh, that's a little bit of an unfortunate point. I don't think there's any other buttons to do stuff. No. Just a shooting button. And you can't shoot behind you or to the side or anything, which normally isn't really a problem, but given this, like, weird arena sort of layout, then you frequently have enemies behind you. Because, I mean, because it's a closed arena, then if guys go behind you, then they have to bounce up and go in front of you again, so... Not a great design. I would have appreciated some sort of going back, shooting back button. That being said, I mean, the sprite work still remains excellent. Nice. I really would like to know what the plot of this game is, though. I mean, I can't accept that they made a game almost entirely about ruining other people's having fun. What if they enjoy fighting against potentially gods? Then they'd be having fun while you try to destroy their fun. Now that's a paradox that they should address in the sequel. Dang. Well, I guess you can actually kind of dodge things if you really wanted to, but given the general size of your character, it's a little awkward too, and given the plentifulity of cheap free continues, like, I mean, yeah, the quarters aren't free, but if you want to continue, then that's totally allowed and totally encouraged, so there's not a whole lot of difficulty in just dying and manning up and paying for it. Well, I guess it's really manning up. Oh, no wonder the score is so low. It keeps resetting when I die. What are they supposed to be, like great warriors or something? Because this guy's clearly a ninja, but the other two... One of them was a cook, and the other one was... a cook? I would appreciate a bomb here. Doesn't seem like the bombs are all too responsive to what you're doing. Oh, nice. Now it's... Well, now it's a little embarrassing, but... With that one power-up that shrinks your character up to the size of a bullet hell hitbox, then it's basically a bullet hell game. Wow, they just paused just to, like, mess with me. Kind of like Space Invaders, actually. Have you ever noticed the Space Invaders just sometimes suddenly pause if the shot's, like, just barely gonna miss, and then they let the shot miss? Although this one, it just seems like it's pausing just to make things annoying for you. Oh my god, this... Well, I mean, I will say that the enemy attack patterns are sufficiently varied. I mean, they're pretty cool. There's a lot of variety going in, and it's actually kind of cool just to see like what kind of pattern they'll be in next. What? That was not what I saw in the picture. This was not what I was promised. Oh, nice. There's even a power-up, too, specifically just freeze everyone. What is this, the War of the Roses? Oy vey. Oh. And, oh, well, at least we revenge bombed them. But, bombing isn't quite as responsive as you like, so, don't use that as a crutch, I guess? But, well, actually, you should use it as a crutch, because you can't really use it as, an emergency exit. Oh, weird. People can just teleport from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen? Well, I guess you do what you gotta do to keep the action fluid. Teddy Bear Land. This game is just so wacky. And yet, it's wacky in a very subdued way. I mean, yeah, you're playing as, like, a giant statue fighting against, like, everyone. But other than that, it's not really, like, it's not loud and wacky. It's not, like... there were giant monkeys everywhere or anything. It's a subdued kind of wackiness. That sounds like a contradiction, but interesting little way to do things. Like they send a bunch of wacky things at you, but they pretend like it's any other game. It's like, yeah, no, it's just a regular shoot 'em up. I don't know why you're so weirded out by that. The fact that you're fighting in like a scarab arena against teddy bears. Nah, totally normal. And I smell a boss. Oh, I thought he was a ninja. Although those are some gnarly looking skulls there. Although they don't look human, maybe... Oh, actually, they kind of look like Lucy or something. They're early age humans. So basically your parents then. It's actually a pretty sweet scaling effect on the... Oh, they're... Man. I wonder if they're supposed to be the Gemini. Oh, well. Jet Force Gemini. Stab Force Gemini. Oh, that's terrible. There's, like, no way to dodge that. Well, I'm sure there is, but... Yeah, all you can do is just kind of move left and right, but they're gonna trap you in the corner, so... I guess the strategy is to kill them. Or credit spam. Well, I thought he was going to be a ninja, though. I was so ready for him to be a ninja. This game, let's see, there are the 4 stages of levels. I feel like it's going to have, like, a super special boss thing at the end. Like, it'll have a bonus 5th level. It seems like that kind of game, where it's like the kind of game where you can choose your own stage for the first 4, but then later it's going to get you. I mean, they put a lot of work into these stages so far, but I can't believe that it ends after, what, 4? Dang, even with the tiny hitbox, they still managed to hit me. Of course, I'm pretty sure I've said that a couple times with Bullet Hell, but still. I guess also, too, I mean, your character isn't, like, immensely mobile. He can kind of, like, plotter back and forth, and yeah, he goes fast enough, I suppose, but when you really want to just get through stuff, you have to be a little careful. He's not quite fast enough. And I would have appreciated, like, a much better armament, because, like, Dodonpachi, you hold down the button, you're, like, shooting a giant laser beam. This one, you just tiny little pea shoots over and over and over again. It's doable, but I wish it was more easily doable. What the heck? That is very clearly not what they promised in the picture. I'm really calling BS on this. Although wow, like, they let you bomb all of the enemies simultaneously? And then 2 bombs and you've killed all the enemies? Of course, they seem to have respawned, like, quite nicely, but still, that's really cool. Well, I mean, I guess it is nice. Like, if you get a new weapon, you just kind of want to just plow through a bunch of regular enemies. So, in this one, they just constantly let you plow through a bunch of regular enemies. I mean, aside from dodging the bullets, there's not a whole lot that you need to take care of or do. Wow, that's pretty intricate patterns now. Of course, the patterns are more arisen more from chaos, just like randomly putting a bunch of enemies on screen. Yeah, there's not like a whole lot of care as to are these patterns manageable or not. Oh my. Well, bomb away. Didn't we already do a Vega stage? Maybe they love that idea so much. There's like, we've got to do this twice. Oh, hey, is this... I'm invisible. Well, okay, not really invisible if they all keep shooting at me. But invincible? Oh, wow. And then they decided to flash the screen on and off at like a constant, what, 30 hertz or something? That's gonna give somebody a seizure somewhere. Actually, I wonder if this was before they realized that people could get seizures from, like, just video games you play or stuff like that. Oh, yeah, have you ever noticed that all video games now seem to come with a seizure warning in the beginning? It's like, warning, this game can cause seizures. If you feel like you're having a seizure, it's too late. Oh, dang. I feel like the firepower has really kind of upped itself. I wonder if, like, it kind of dynamically scales the levels based on how many levels you've beaten, or if it just... the harder levels are harder. Eh. There's, like, no coherency as far as, like, what you do next. This game, it's so wacky. And yet it's not. Because it's not like what you're doing is that wacky. I mean, the gameplay is completely normal. Okay, that's hilarious. He fights with the power of justice. No, literally. Oh my god. But otherwise, I mean, gameplay-wise, it's a fairly normal shoot-'em-up. They're not trying to push too many boundaries here. Well, okay, I guess the arena thing is a little new as far as shoot-'em-ups go. And, I mean, I'm not too surprised nobody else decided to copy them on it. But it makes for a neat little variation on a theme. If not necessarily a good idea. But hey, sometimes you just have to get those bad ideas on paper before you realize, hey, this is a bad idea. Is it supposed to be like Captain America crossed with Thor? And I guess at the end of the day, he must have been Japanese because he exploded Japanese characters. Alright, let's see who's right. Yeah, I figured. Oh, now we get to fight the, Octoponians. Essentially no real gameplay change here. It's just different looking enemies, which I'll admit, they're actually pretty different looking. And then, well, I mean, this does kind of look like some sort of terrible alien rave. It actually looks pretty good. Everyone's smiling. But, good gosh. Exotic locales. Shoot them all. So yeah, let's just kind of burn through this game and see what the final boss looks like. Well, I mean, hey, if it's gonna give me bombs every time I die, I might as well take advantage of that. Hey, who's stronger, you, me, or bombs? That's right, bombs. Lair of the Spiders. Oh. I feel like we're betraying some sort of code by killing our own kind. Scaling effects. It never really grows old. Wow. They multiply a bit faster than bacteria. Good gosh. And then it's all like kind of cross patterns that they grow back in, so it's almost impossible to anticipate them. Let's see, one more stage and then final boss. Take your bets. Take your bets. Let's see. Oh, final boss already. Wait, it's Earth? We're fighting against Earth? You know what? Given, like, everything else in this game, it's probably one of the more conceivable things I can see. I mean, on one hand, that does kind of imply that our guy is some sort of crazy terrorist that has somehow managed to piss off, like, the Earth itself, which feels it needs to brand out its own harsh justice. But at the same time, I mean, we crashed a lot of parties. That's unforgivable. Yeah, look at these little appendages. They're just kind of like wobbling back and forth. This Earth is hilarious. Can you imagine if the real Earth looked like that? So, yeah, I mean, are we the good guy or the bad guy? Maybe the good guy? I don't know. You can't even tell based on visual cues, because the Earth looks about as ferocious or monstrous as our guy. They should have had the scaling go the other way, though. Oh, I wonder what the name entry screen will be like. Hey, it's the little things in life. Oh, wow, and as you fight, you actually knock off entire continents. That's pretty ridiculous. Although it kind of makes you wonder where the setting of our fight actually is. Yay, we destroyed the Earth. Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Seriously. That's all it does. Doesn't even say good job, congratulations. Even let you enter your name. No, it's just like, well, you defeated the Earth. Let's play a second loop. Wow, that's disappointing. This is not even harder. Gosh. I mean, I can understand some games not having an ending, like Pac-Man or Galaga, but this game should definitely have an ending. Well, that was Zun disappoints you in the end, Q. No Yabou. Oh, name entry screen. Nice, responsive. You can move left and right. But at the same time, nothing particularly new or unique. I'll give it a A-. Zunzunkyou. Yeah, maybe I don't want to know the plot to this game. Sega, what have you done? Well, maybe the intro will give some... No, just what happens when you play. And if there was ever a game that needed context... Well, on that note, this cat's got a scat.